What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Spider-Man 2 because the game is coming out in just a couple weeks, and it feels like the hype for it is completely off the charts. It's kind of insane to consider the fact that this is the first Sony game built for the PlayStation 5. While there have been other PS5 games like Gran Turismo or, of course, God of War Ragnarok, those were built to also run on a PlayStation 4. Spider-Man 2 is the first game completely constructed to utilize the power of the PlayStation 5, and it feels like pretty much every console owner is ready for this massive release. But today, an interesting leak came out. Now, this isn't a story spoiler, but apparently the game is only about 15 hours long. And now people are kind of debating if that's enough. Should a $70 game by necessity be longer? Let's talk and let's take a look at the leak for ourselves. Hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So, there's a bunch of people discussing this over on Twitter right now because reviewers have copies of the game. A bunch of codes went out from PlayStation just a couple days ago, and surprisingly, a lot of reviewers are already finishing it. You can take a look at some public profiles. People are popping the trophies for completely finishing the game. Now, I probably would suggest don't go look at their public profiles because the trophies have a lot of story spoilers in it. But one guy has straight up said he managed to do every single thing in the game in about 30 hours, 15 of that just beating the main quest. That means this guy did every collectible, unlocked every suit, did every side quest, found every hidden collectible, totally in about 30 hours. Now, whether you consider that big or small, this is definitely, to my mind, the biggest Insomniac game yet. This is the biggest Spider-Man of this new trilogy that we've gotten so far. We're getting symbiote abilities. Obviously, there's two separate Spider-Man with Miles Morales and Peter Parker both being able to team up. And it sounds like there's even going to be interesting stuff where, like, you can be fighting crime in the city and you'll randomly see Miles Morales or Peter Parker, the other Spider-Man, just going about and doing his thing. Stuff like that is really cool. But we also now know that it takes about 40 hours for some people to 100% it. Some people, apparently it's taken about 30 hours. There's 65 suits. There's a new map that's twice the size. The suit gets torn up when you're in fights. You can ride roller coasters on Coney Island, which is very cool to me. More villains and better villains with Venom and Lizard. All of this to me sounds fantastic, but I am a person that very much liked the original. Not to do a giant spoiler about it, but you know, this Peter Parker, some of his moments, I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. I actually have a full Spider-Man costume in my closet. And not only that, but I'll be honest, I love Peter Parker. I think the whole idea of a broke hero doing the right thing purely because it's the right thing to do, I've always liked that. I even read a lot of the Spider-Man comics, which I'll fully admit there's a lot of very garbage Spider-Man comics. So I appreciate the fact that Insomniac has made the best Spider-Man ever, and we get to play as him. It's just so fascinating to me. But I decided to do this poll because now that this is just floating around, the idea of it being 15 hours long, now the debate has begun. Is that too short or is that just right? Now, it's interesting to me. This poll, I just put it up literally 45 minutes ago. It's already got 1,500 votes on it. And the options are, yes, it's too short. No, it's not too short. And it's fine, but I want it to be longer. The interestingness to me is already 34% of people have said yes, 45% have said no, which means that, like, right out of the gate, it sounds like a huge chunk of the populace, a lot of fans already are being like, yeah, 15 hours sounds short. Like, I do a lot of 10-hour gaming sessions because, you know, I review a lot of games. So that to me would mean this game is 2 gaming sessions long. That's not really the way it's going to shake out because I do a lot of side quests and I like to explore a lot, but it still sounds weird when you hear it. Now, I think it's interesting because a lot of people are saying like, hey, we need more 15-hour no filler games. I actually think this is just a fascinating concept. No filler games. Stuff that's just all plot, activation, good story, good voice acting. And to me, that's what Spider-Man accomplishes. The previous Spider-Man games, both Spider-Man 2018, and of course Miles Morales, both of those games were not exceptionally long, but I mean, Spider-Man took me about 20 hours to beat, and I really enjoyed it. Miles Morales, I completely 100% platinumed it in about 20 hours. It took about 8 hours to finish the main story, and then lots of cool collectibles and swinging around. But to me, these games are also just about being Spider-Man, about just turning on your cell phone and finding some crimes and beating some people up and then going to dinner with MJ. I kind of enjoy the world building of Spider-Man a lot. Now, I find this interesting. All games that are $70 should be at least 40 hours for the main story. Interesting. So a lot of people here are just really breaking it down. A movie ticket is $10 to $20 for 1 hour. Gaming is best in value. It's great to get 15 to 20 hours. I'm happy. It's also 40 plus to complete, which I and many others, I know you Dreamcast guy, will do. Yeah, this guy knows me. This is my buddy Jake Randall. He knows I'm, of course, going to platinum this. I platinum a lot of PlayStation games. Look at this. Wish it was 5... I wish it was 5 hours long, like the GOAT Spider-Man 2 Inter Electro for PlayStation 1. That's right. I forgot there is a PS1 Spider-Man game that's 5 hours long. This is so interesting. Yes, it's too short. These people who prefer games being 10 to 20 hours long are casuals. If it's 15 hours long, then the side content better be at least double that playtime. I find this interesting how much people are sort of debating this. As long as the story is good and the side activities are fun, it's totally fine. I think I find this interesting because I think the PlayStation community and a lot of people are sort of just still tearing into this game because they're so fascinated by it. I'm even seeing people just argue about the size of the map, people being like, oh man, is this game a retread? How much is this recycled content? I think it's interesting because I do truly believe that Spider-Man 2 is probably going to score incredibly high on Metacritic. 9.5s, 10s across the board. And I don't just say that because, oh, I'm a Sony pony. I'm saying that because of the track record of Insomniac. Insomniac has had an incredible history of making absolutely top-notch games. And to be honest, this looks like their best game yet. I mean, in a catalog from a studio that has so many freaking bangers, this does look like their biggest and best game yet. I'm so curious to see how much we get to do, how much we get to interact with, how much is going to be Mary Jane missions. As it currently stands, my hype for this is off the charts. I cannot wait to fit 19 inches of Venom inside myself. But what do you guys think? Is this too short? I'm very serious. I want to know you guys. Sometimes I'll ask a question and I'm just kind of generally curious. But in this case, please go to the comment section and actually tell me your thoughts on if a game is 15 hours for $70 for just the main story. Is that long enough? Starfield technically only takes about 20 hours to finish the main story, but people have been playing that for hundreds and hundreds of hours over the course of the last month. Tell me your thoughts on how long and how deep a game needs to be for it to satisfy you. All right, thank you so much for watching, gamers. If you enjoy it, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.